Hello, my name is Claudia Tornquist. I'm the president and CEO of Kodiak Copper. We are an exploration company focusing on copper porphyry exploration in North America. We made a discovery at our MPD project in southern BC. That was in late 2020, so a good 1.5 years ago. And that has been a real game changer for our company. We raised at the time $12.6 million. And that made for a very busy year, 2021, and also a very busy year this year, where we are executing big drill programs and are very successful in following up on our initial discovery.
Well, Claudia, thanks very much for coming back on the show. It was like hearing this story from you, but I got a comment. The market's getting absolutely hammered at the moment. Your share price is reflective of the market conditions at the moment. Should we be worried?
Well, the market certainly is very difficult at the moment, not only for us, but for all mining and junior companies. And of course, frustrating to look at our share price where it is now. But having said that, we are in a good position because we raised capital before the market really fell off the cliff. So we are fully financed and we are executing on our strategy. We're drilling, have a big drill program underway. So we'll have lots of results and discovery potential for our shareholders. So we're in a good place. And as someone just recently said to me, the companies who are drilling now, they will be at an advantage once the market turns. And that's, I think, the way to look at it.
Yeah, well, as an investor, I think it's not surprising people are getting a little bit nervous. They're looking, red across the board, and their investments may be well underwater. But your view, I mean, you're an ex-markets person as well. Your view is that this is just part of the metals cycle, and we'll come out the other side at some point.
I think for copper in particular, the long-term story is still completely intact, which is all about decarbonization and the green revolution. And a lot of copper will be required for that. And that really is a mega trend that will take us through the next decade or longer. And I am sure there will be market up and downs during that time. But the long-term picture for copper, I think, is quite striking in that there is just big demand on the horizon and not very much supply at all. There haven't been many copper discoveries to fill that big demand from all these electric vehicles, wind, solar, etc. So there's no doubt in my mind that more discoveries are needed in copper, and that's the business Kodiak is in.
Right. Okay. So we agree with the thesis. So the thesis is strong. You've raised some money at the right time, so it's less expensive. But the costs are way up. We've talked about inflation. I imagine you've been talking about inflation solidly for the last 6 months. But what's that actually mean on the ground? What's the reality on the ground in terms of your drill costs compared to what they were, say, 6 months or even 12 months ago?
Well, we're certainly seeing some inflation, like diesel prices have gone up, drill prices have gone up. But I would say it's manageable. We've budgeted 10-15% more for this drilling now than we did for the same last year. So there are certainly price increases, but it's not out of the ordinary, I would say, and manageable. And what for us also is a big advantage is that we are in an established resource district, a mining district, with all the infrastructure there, all the services available locally. So we don't have any difficulties finding drillers, drill rigs, or the like. And I think that plays certainly to our advantage. So
10-15% doesn't sound like a lot when we're hearing stories of 30-40% increase in cost, and more than that. If I was talking to someone in Nevada who the costs have practically doubled, and they said we're getting out of here. So as far as you're concerned, you are still funded to do the 2022 drill program with the number of meters that you expected to.
Yes, we have 25,000 meters planned for this year. We're actually progressing faster than we had budgeted, going really well. And we are fully funded for the entire year and well into next. So going well. And yeah, we're just keeping our heads down and keeping up the good work.
Okay. That's good. Good to hear. Well, look, let's talk about it. We had lots of questions sent in about, what is the drill program? Okay, 25,000 meters. Where are you focused? Mojave, I guess, and is a question that people are asking you a lot about. But is the focus MPD predominantly?
Yes.
Right.
Our drilling is all at MPD so far this year, and that's where the vast majority of our effort is going, will be going. That's our main focus. That's where we made the discovery. And we have so far this year drilled at the gate zone. That's where we made the discovery. We also have several other target areas that we will be drilling as the program progresses in the later part of this year. But so far, all at the gate zone, and the first results that we released yesterday were also from the gate zone.
Right. Okay. Well, when you talk us through that, because I think people are really sort of intrigued about it, because they don't feel that they necessarily understand that the process that you're going through. So I think you offered to kind of whip up a slide for us there.
I can bring up a map that shows the gate zone and then shows a bit where we have drilled and where we will be going. So what you see here is the gate zone where we made the discovery, and this sort of these dotted lines show the corridor where we have drilled mineralization and high-grade mineralization so far. And in the background, you see new geophysical data from an IP survey that we did last year in autumn. And what we see is a very strong correlation between our drill results, high-grade mineralization, and the IP response, i.e. high conductivity. That's these red and pink areas. And that's important because that means that geophysics tells us where to drill. If you look at this anomaly that's sort of curving here, this pink anomaly, we have so far drilled in the northern part here where you see these black lines. That's our grade shells. So that's where we intersected high-grade mineralization. We've drilled here in the southern part. And very easy to see where we will be drilling next and where this year's drill program will focus on. We essentially work our way along this anomaly. And the first results that we released yesterday were from the southern part. Our second drill rig is turning up here, and this is working in the northern part and so working its way down. The drill rig down here is working its way up, and we'll just drill out this anomaly further. And what I think this picture also really illustrates is that for now, we've only really drilled a small part of the anomaly, and there's still a lot more work to be done and a lot of discovery potential for our investors. And also, very interestingly, there is a parallel anomaly, which is just about 600 meters to the southeast, exactly the same response, but never been drilled yet. And that, of course, is also very high on our priority list, and we'll get there to drill that very soon. And again, additional discovery potential. So very exciting, and still lots more work and lots more potential at the gate zone.
So how many drills are turning at the moment?
We have 2 drills turning as we speak.
Right. Okay. And in terms of this entire program, I mean, if for the rest of this year, I mean, how many meters are you looking to add? This side of Christmas.
We keep going with our 2 drill rigs as we speak, and as I said, we're ahead of plan. We're progressing faster than we thought we would, and might well exceed our target of 25,000 meters.
Right. Okay. But I mean, that's when's that due to finish, or when do you think it'll finish now?
We'll finish late in the autumn, and probably take a break over the coldest time in winter, and then be at it early in the next year as well.
Right. Okay. We saw the press release yesterday. Obviously, solid stuff. Like anything over kind of point 4, you've got to be quite interested in over big, large widths here. So, I mean, and you've talked about the ability to so far target successfully. What's your expectation of your understanding of the ore body as you see it? Because you always talk to us about the way that this thing could build out. I mean, what would you kind of guide me in terms of that thinking?
What's very important to understand is that we are looking at a large porphyry system here at MPD with multiple interpreted porphyry centers. So the gate zone is one, and we've drilled that already. And we have several other target zones, which are exactly the same as the gate zone in that they have copper and gold on surface, so surface anomalies. They have shallow historic drilling, copper and gold drilled near surface in the past by other operators. And they have similar geophysical responses as the gate zone. And those targets are obviously on the list for drilling, and we will drill several of them this year as well. And that's, I think, where also the real excitement is for our shareholders. I can show that on a map.
Yeah, please.
So we have here the map of our property, and this yellow star at the top northwestern corner, that's the gate zone where we made the discovery. And all these red stars are other target areas, historically drilled, surface anomalies, and no deeper drilling. And we will take exactly the same approach that we successfully took at Gate and drill below the shallow historic drilling and see what we can come up with. And that's obviously very exciting, because if we drill at any of those targets, that's Dillard, Man, or down here in the southern part, 1516, that would be a new discovery and would have the potential to really generate excitement, just like the original Gate Zone discovery did.
Right. Okay. And in terms of who's actually coming up with this drill program of yours? Sorry, is this all in-house, or have you contracted it?
Well, we've got our exploration team obviously in-house.
Yeah.
It's led by Chris Taylor, our chairman, who is really the sort of guiding our technical work. Many of your listeners will know Chris from our sister company, Great Bear. Great success. He also founded Great Bear, just as he did with Kodiak. And yeah, Chris really leads and guides our technical work. And then we have a very experienced in-house exploration team. That's our VP Exploration, Jeff Ward, and VP Operation, Andy Berry. And then we work with a drill contractor. And as I said before, we are in an existing mining district. And so our drill contractor is actually just an hour up the highway and very close by. And that, of course, is a big advantage.
Right. Okay. So Chris is a little bit more active, a little bit more spare time, I suspect, at the moment. So that's I guess that's quite comforting. And so with regards to the rest of this year, we're looking to the full assay results coming out reasonably quickly now, or is that still on go slow?
We are actually seeing normal throughput times, so we expect more results in the summer and then in regular intervals throughout the year. So lots more to come. As I said, we have results from 4 holes this year so far, and at this time have drilled 13 and will be drilling up to 40. So lots more to come.
Good. Okay. Well, that's good news. Hopefully more of the same as well with those grades. Well, look, Claudia, I think it's just really I'm sort of intrigued how small companies are surviving. You've got a bunch of cash, so you're in a meaningful way. The market can do what it's doing. You've just got to focus on what you can do. You're not cash constrained, and you're getting on with actual drilling. So that's good news. Anything else that you think we need to be thinking about as investors? Because everyone's just that little bit nervous, a little bit hands-off, risk-free, and maybe preserving cash at this moment in time. Would you consider yourself a good buying opportunity now, or should we sit on our hands?
Well, if you look at our insider buying, you will see that I've just bought Kodiak shares recently, and I will certainly do more buying if I can. Looking at our current share price, I consider it a buying opportunity. And I think discoveries, even in a bad market, are still getting rewarded. If we're successful at any of our other targets, in particular, in drilling high-grade mineralization and making a new discovery, we should see some excitement in the market, and that's really what we're aiming for.
And I've got to say this because we've been I think from the beginning of last year, 2021, trying to find good copper stories, and the copper price did run, which was great. It's come off a little bit, but yet I think copper stories are struggling to kind of get that traction in the marketplace. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, what should we be looking at? It's all well and good talking about general market conditions in the future, the great new infrastructure investments, the great EV thematic, but what type of companies are going to do best?
in a difficult market as we have it just now, it's the companies that are financed and can continue working that have the advantage. We are in a good place with Kodiak. We are fully funded for the entire year and into next, can execute a large growth program. And so I'm confident that we'll come out ahead and that we'll be able to create value for our shareholders.